Hello, everyone. This is Kikao Nasauti, streaming live, and also at Brother Benson Media. We are blessed this evening to have one of the aspirants or aspiring young leaders in Kisumu for Shauri Moyo Award, if I'm not wrong, Honorable Adede Sheshe. Sheshe, habari gani?
Mzuri sana.
Umepotea siku mingi bana.
Wewe ndio umepotea.
Mimi niko bana, si sasa hapa ndio pale ambapo sisi tunakutana bana.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah. I see you are doing an amazing job online. You are doing an
Mm.
amazing job.
Mhm. Habari ya Kisumu.
Yes. Kisumu imetulia vizuri sana.
Mm.
Yes.
Na wacha tuanze. Let me just start about Kisumu because last week there's something that came out from the park committee that actually made people have a conversation about Kisumu of the pending bills of 5 point, was it 5.6, 5 point what billion? 5.6 billion.
5.9, 5.9
5.9.
billion, 5.9. Yes.
5.9 billion, that is pending
Yes.
bills. And, this caught people by surprise, knowing very well that Kisumu, the way we have professor, we have good leaders, especially one of our friends who is in charge of budget, if I'm not wrong, that is Swaga. Um,
Yes.
what do you make of that, especially as young leaders who are aspiring and those who want to also lead the people of Kisumu? That pending bill is so huge.
Yes. I think that is very bad news to everybody who is concerned. That is
Mm,
very bad news to people who live in Kisumu. That is very bad news. You see, 5.9 billion pending bill is bad fiscal management. I can say it's bad state of economy of Kisumu County because
mm. Sorry, we are losing Adedeshesa here. All right, thank you so much. I think like there's a network issue with
it
Adedeshesa.
affects not only the suppliers, it
Mm,
affects not everybody. So
mm,
you see, what happens is with that huge pending bill,
mhm,
it simply means that nobody will even want to do business with Kisumu County government. And
mm.
what that implies is that there will be lack of confidence from the suppliers and the contractors. And what that implies is that we will not be receiving real development projects on the ground. Because remember, the county government cannot be the contractor at the same time. The county government need to contract other people to do the work on their behalf. So
Yes.
if there's a lack of faith among the contractors and the suppliers, it means the development will be stalled in Kisumu. It means we will not be achieving what we want. So my take is that Kisumu County it is in bad.
Mm. Okay, I don't know why I did keep on. Yeah, we were talking about the pending bills in Kisumu. Remember the other day when the professor appeared before
That's
the
why
park.
we came out and condemned.
Mm.
Yes.
But Adede Sheshe, when you people, especially the young leaders and everybody came out and condemned, what are some of the steps, especially as people of Kisumu, that you've taken, especially to find out actually exactly what happened? Because we have members of county assembly that should always check the executive. Were they not aware that such was happening?
Okay, I think they are aware because there is this member of parliament from Kubura ward called Honorable Bill,
Billy.
Honorable Bill, Honorable Billy.
Mm,
So he raised. I saw a clip whereby he raised issues with the pending bills. Also raised issues with the revenue collection. I can see. I can say some of the members of parliament, some of the members of the assembly raised some, but I don't know how about the silence of the others. I don't know what is that take. Generally, what I can say is that the majority of them were somehow silent on it because I've never seen anything from their side. So that's why I came out to talk. Remember, Kisumu is for all of us, whether you are
Yeah.
elected or not elected.
Hmm.
If anything bad happens to Kisumu government, it happens to all of us. So that's why I came out strongly and talked about it, and I'm still going to talk about it in detail. Actually,
Mm.
right now, I'm compiling a report. There's a report I'm waiting. In the course of the week, I'll have a full report
Yeah.
about the pending bill. I want to. I'm doing a research. I want to know what constitutes this 5.9 billion pending bill. Which which particular contract were these? I want to know when was this contract awarded? Were they regularly awarded or were they irregularly awarded? I want to know, were they done within the IFMIS guidelines or outside the IFMIS guidelines? I want to know, were these contracts or tenders or supplies,
Mm.
were they completed or not? What is their status? Under what department do they fall? Eh? We want to do the add up so that we have a complete report. We don't just want a round figure of 5.9. We want to find a complete report of each and every detail of everything that constitutes this 5.9 billion. I think that is the first step in the right direction so that we can know who to deal with first. Because after having the report, then we can say, now these are regular bills, these are
Mm.
irregular bills. We can start with a list of regular bills so that we can start sorting the regular bills first. We want to know which one were done several years ago and which one are recent bills. So that
Mm.
the ones which were done several years ago can be sorted first and things like that. And we want to know which one are contested ones because as far as I'm concerned, there are also cases of irregularities.
Yeah.
There are cases of irregularities. We want to see that. So we don't just want to hear figures. We want to have a detailed report. So currently, I'm compiling that report. I'm working up and down, and hopefully, the next 1 week I'll table a full report of the 5.9 billion pending bill. I will talk. I will not keep quiet. I want the people to know what is happening in Kisumu County because we have very high expectations
Hmm.
and we want our expectations to be met.
When you look at the previous, especially like the administration of Professor Nyong'o came after the one of Jack Ranguma. But if you look at the 5 years that Jack Ranguma was um, in power, especially in Kisumu County, his pending bills were quite much lower than what we are seeing now. And
Exactly.
that is one. Then secondly, I ask you about the county members of assembly, especially from Kisumu, and those who are in these committees that, especially like the one in the budget. Um,
Yes.
what are they saying? Because like they also need to have information actually to share with the people that this is what is happening. And at what point did they realize, or they just came to know about the pending bills when the leadership of the county appeared before the park?
Yes, actually, what I can say that I'm somehow disappointed with the county assembly of Kisumu because they did not come out strongly or even address the media about this. Actually, most of us realized about this thing when the governor appeared before the Senate committee. Otherwise, most of us would not have even realized the thing. But the truth of the matter is, the the when Governor Nyomo inherited the county government, the pending bills were a bit lower compared right now. To me, that the previous administration really tried so much to sort the pending bills. He did not gather as much pending bills as being gathered by this administration. And remember, we only have 1 year to election. To me, there is no possibility of this existing county government paying those pending bills. Because even if we check our nini, if we check our revenue collection, we don't reach the target. We don't even reach 50% of our target. It's very
Collection.
low. Do you know in the bus park alone, we
Yeah.
only collect about 20%. No, no, no,
Why?
no, no, notice in the bus park. I mean the parking fee. The parking fee, we only collect 20% of our target. In the market, in our
Mm,
markets, we only collect around 34% of our target revenue collection.
mm,
And remember, our target simply means they've already estimated the number of traders in the market, and they've already estimated the amount which should be collected, and we only collect around 30 something percent. What does this mean?
mm,
It means as long as we are collecting lower revenues,
mm,
we will still continue to accumulate more pending bills. Another thing, the award of tenders should be seriously be professional and within the ethical guidelines and within the constitutional framework.
mm,
'Cause otherwise, any irregular award of tenders, any
mm,
award of tenders done outside the IFMIS will will also result to more accumulation of pending bills because we will be awarding hot air. The people will be supplying hot air in the county and they will be expecting to be paid. That's why there are even some cases in court. That's why we are saying we need we need the county government to be accountable for
mm.
the amount of money they collect from the internal resources, for the amount of money they get from the national government, and how they are using each and every shilling. We need an accountability for that. Otherwise, we will continue to make noise. We will not keep quiet because that is our money.
So, but like, do the residents of Kisumu are concerned about what really transpired, especially about the spending bills, or it is just normal for them
No,
because
no, 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 no.
we are gearing towards the next general election?
The residents are so much concerned. I walk in the streets every day. The
Mm,
residents are not happy. They are very much concerned. They are asking many questions and they really need answers. They want answers. That is why some of them have pushed me and told me, "Adedeshese, please give us a report. Tell us what is happening. This is confusing. We want to know what is really happening because
mhm.
if we don't investigate and find out the real thing, we are going to throw our country to the door and we don't want that. We want an accountability for each and every shilling. We want transparency. We want everything to be done within the law. So the residents, I can tell you, I'm confident. I can tell you, I interact with them on the ground every day. The residents are very much concerned. And if answers are not given, the residents are not going to keep quiet, I can tell you.
But like, if you look at even today, the infotrack, there was some infotrack that came out on the performing of the counties. You look at especially uh, our counties, especially when you look at Kisumu County, you look at Siaya, you look at Migori and Homa Bay, you find that uh, they're not performing well. Why do you think this one is so? Yet the person who has always been championing for that devolution is from the Luo counties, especially the Luo Nyanza, especially the father of it. Why is it that we are not performing well?
Yes, what I can tell you is that we are not performing well, especially in terms of our financial management. We are
Yeah.
not performing well. Let me tell you,
Mm,
Kisumu is the third largest city in Kenya after Nairobi and Mombasa.
mm,
And remember, a town like Kiambu, uh, which Kisumu is above. Remember, Kisumu is a city, Kiambu is town. Do you know that Kiambu County collected about 6.2 billion in own source revenue?
mm,
And remember, Kisumu, we usually struggle to collect 1 billion. Eh? It's like Kiambu County is 6 times ahead of us in the revenue collection. Why do I say this? The lesser we collect in terms of revenue, the more we don't reach our target, the more we will not be able to finance development within our counties.
Let's look at the target revenue that's supposed to be collected, especially you're speaking because like maybe you have information. Where is the problem? Is the problem with the especially the traders who are in Kisumu who are supposed to pay the taxes, or the problem is that the taxes are being paid, they don't follow the right channel, or there's a leakage somewhere whereby somebody is benefiting, especially from the tax that is being collected in Kisumu, so that we don't realize that the target that the county should collect.
Let me tell you very important things. Number one, in Kisumu County, it is the only county in this lake region whereby the chairman of the revenue board resigned after an allegation of corruption. There
Mm.
was an allegation like about 600 million got lost, something like that, if I'm not
Yeah.
wrong. Then he
Hmm.
had to resign. Eh? In Kisumu County, is the only county whereby there's an allegation hmm, that uh, do you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, you are. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Maybe your internet had a problem. You are kind of like frozen.
I think maybe somebody was calling, but yeah.
Okay.
So I was telling you, Kisumu County is the only county whereby the members of the county assembly raised a serious issue.
Yes.
Eh? I was talking about MCA Honorable Bill, and that clip is even online. I can even look for that clip and
Hey.
say it. He raised a serious issue whereby the gadget used for revenue reporting had some had some problems in the sense that you see when we are collecting revenue, you can pay through there's that machine. I don't know how they call it. You can
Mm.
pay through that machine, or you can pay through the USD code. Eh? Do
That
you
is the
know
M-Pesa.
they realize when they yeah, yes, that is the M-Pesa. They realize that that gadget only reports hmm, the other forms of collection. But when you pay through the USD code, that money is not reported through the system. So the rest issue with the Safaricom, eh, who happened to be who they were told that the Safaricom is the provider of that service. So when they went to Safaricom, Safaricom told them that there's another third party eh,
Mm.
who is offering that service. They are just doing the hosting. Safaricom told them that they are just doing the hosting of that service. That service is
Yeah.
actually being done by another third party. In other
Mm.
words, why I'm trying to say this, it seems there is no legitimate reporting of the amount of money we collect every day.
So.
Kisumu County, there is an allegation. Apart from that, Kisumu County
Mhm.
still on revenue collection.
Mhm.
About 1 month ago, the gadget. Remember, I was told that the governor and the deputy governor eh, also has another gadget that gives them the daily estimate of the amount of money being collected
Mhm.
by the Kisumu County Revenue Collectors. Do you know the one that is being housed at the deputy governor, that is being used by the deputy governor, got lost? Somebody went and stole it. So it seems even right now the deputy governor is not even aware how much was collected today because somebody went to his residence and stole that gadget. That is how worse this thing is. In other words, what I'm simply trying to say is that there's a serious problem in revenue collection in Kisumu County. And I believe it is a sabotage from the above and it trickles downwards. Eh? So I think there's some level of cartelism that
Mhm.
happens in revenue collection in Kisumu County. That is why we are always below our target. I strongly believe, our traders are actually doing the remittance. I believe they are actually. I don't. I do work in Kibuye a lot. I do politics in Kibuye and talk with them. Let me
Yeah.
tell you, each and every day, all of them pay 30 bob. All of
Mm.
them pay 30 Kenya shillings.
Mm.
None of them fails to pay that amount.
Yeah.
But I don't think that amount is being reported to the highest level. I think something is happening in between here that should be. thoroughly investigated, and I call upon EACC to
Yeah.
thoroughly come and do a review of Kisumu County revenue collection. I believe something is seriously wrong, something should be seriously be investigated, and if there's something wrong, then the perpetrator should be brought to book.
So it seems this is something by default. Somebody is doing what they know.
It seems this is something by design. I think there
Mm,
is some crooks within the revenue collection system who are
mm,
out eh, to siphon the money that is collected from the taxpayers, the siphon the county government money for their own personal use. So that's why I'm calling upon the EACC to come and thoroughly investigate the revenue collection system of Kisumu
mm.
County, all the way from the grassroots to the above levels. We want to
But
see.
when you look at the service delivery, especially that is coming from county government vis-a-vis the collection that is being done, do you see the services are being delivered, or there's some laxity, or there's some challenges when it comes to service delivery?
Let me tell you,
Mm,
if you walk in Kisumu, you'll see several stalled projects. Let
mm,
me tell you, several stalled projects are still there. To mean either there are very limited finances or there's laxity. Let me tell you, even in my ward alone where I come from,
yeah.
there's a very big. Okay, Governor Yang Yung planned to build a very big conference facility in Kaloleni, a
Mm,
four floor hall and conference facility.
mm.
They just built the structure, and for the past 2 years, it was left like that. No
Was
finishing was done to that
the
project.
money was allocated?
That's what I'm yet to find out whether the money was allocated in a full.
Yeah.
That is why I told you currently I'm compiling a report to
Mm,
know what was done, what was not completed, and everything. If you go to Mamboleo, today I was in Mamboleo Stadium. In Mamboleo, there's a serious conference facility, the Mamboleo Conference Facility, a
mm,
very big, wonderful conference facility. I think it's a 5,000 seater conference facility that
mhm.
was being constructed there by the county government. They built the structure, they left it there. Nowadays, you see trees around it. In
So,
other words, there are several stalled buildings, and very soon by then I'll be walking around Kisumu County and exposing these several stalled buildings. Because
mm,
I believe, why do you need to start a project if you
mm.
will not complete it?
But now,
It doesn't make sense.
but you know, Mwesh,
Yes,
so what we need also to know is that these projects, because like I do not think, for example, that a county government or any other government can just try to construct a building without allocation of funds. So for a building uh, to be constructed, or for a plan, there must be allocation of funds, maybe in the budgeting, that is approved by them. So in other words, it means if you look at if by when you will be walking around, try to find out whether there was allocation of funds and how much was allocated and who was the contractor. Because I know when a particular uh, property is being constructed, there must be that board that shows who this is funded by, who is the engineer on site, and when the completion should be done. So also consider that, so that when you are coming, you come with full details of around
yes,
what. Yeah. Mm,
actually, that is what I was talking about. But
yeah.
currently, I've noticed that
Mm,
there are several stalled buildings. Some have been stalling for more than 2 years, like the one I'm talking about, the Kaloleni Hall and Conference Facility. It has stalled for 2 years. Let me tell you, I don't believe somebody can build four-story building, then leave it like that, then disappear. It
mm,
seems something was seriously wrong. That's why I'm currently doing investigation. I want to have a report. Why
okay.
this how much was allocated? Was he allocated enough funds? And why did the contractor disappear? I really need that report And that's why I'm telling you in the next 1 week, because actually even today evening, I was supposed to meet some members of the finance committee. They were to give me tomorrow. I'm also going to meet some people from the finance department of the county, and I'm seriously compiling a serious report that is going to expose so many things in Kisumu County in terms of how projects are being done and why they are stalled. Actually, that is some of the things I've come out strongly to talk about. Because I don't want to be walking around and seeing several buildings. Yeah,
All right, thank you, Mushemiwa, for that. Let's come to the politics of the day, especially we are looking at what is happening. And I would just want to start and to know your view. We always know that Luo has what we call the CARE, the Council of Elders, that is headed by CARE.
yeah,
And we know usually that this is a cultural position, especially it's not a political. If I'm wrong, you will
yes,
correct. But the other day in Homa Bay, we saw the Care of Luo gave a political statement, and especially urging the members that this time round they are requesting the whole community to vote Tutam and also to listen to the leaders. That includes Her Excellency Governor Wanga and Raymond Omolo. As a politicians and a politician, one, and as a Luo community, somebody coming from a Luo community, do you feel that was the right thing that was supposed to be done by the Luo care?
yes. First of all, let me tell you, I know Odungira and the Kero Luo personally. I've
Mm-hmm.
visited in his home severally in Yando Kano.
Mm-hmm.
I've been with him on several occasions.
Mm-hmm.
I know what he stands for,
Mm-hmm.
and I know his vision for the Luo community.
Mm-hmm.
So first, let me tell you, Luo Council of Elders is a ceremonial position, but
Mm-hmm.
they usually give a very serious advice. Remember, that is a council comprising of several elders. He doesn't speak on behalf of himself. He
Mm-hmm.
speaks on behalf of all the elders. After the elders have sat down, thought about the journey, where we've been from as a community, where we are currently at, and where we want to be.
Mm-hmm.
That is what informs their thinking. They look at those three things. Where are we from? Where are we right now? Where do we want to go? Those three things.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a voice of the council. And remember, the Luo Council is a very large body that comprises of elders all the way from all the way from Nini, all the way from Migori, all the way through Bay to Kisumu to Siaya. They
Mm-hmm.
usually sit down at a Fafa Hall. They have an office. Actually, you see that office in Kisumu called a Fafa Hall.
Yes.
That is their office.
Mm-hmm.
They usually sit there. I was there when they were sitting there. I didn't attend their meeting actually because I'm not an elder, but I was there when they were having that meeting. When they left, they came up with deliberate decisions. One of those decisions was like this:
Mm-hmm.
as a community right now,
Mm-hmm.
we don't have a formidable candidate as a new community. We don't have a formidable candidate right now that can run for president in 2027. We may have candidates in 2032 going onward, but
Mm-hmm.
as per now, we don't have any individual whom we believe or
Yeah.
who has come out strongly to campaign against William Ruto. That is number one.
Mm-hmm.
Number two,
Mm-hmm.
their decision was informed by the fact that right now William Samoei Ruto has done so much in terms of accommodating the interest of Luo community, in terms of matters to do with the development and inclusion in the national government.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, let me tell you something. William Ruto is the only president in the Republic of Kenya since
Mm-hmm.
independence in 1963
Mm-hmm.
that ever appointed a person from this community in the Ministry of Finance. Remember, we've had 16 ministers of finance. Do you know that? 16 of them. Out of these 16, are you aware that 10 of them came from two tribes?
Mm-hmm.
10 of them, go do your research. 10 of
Mm-hmm.
them came from either Kikuyu or Kalenjin community. The rest of the six came from the 41 other tribes. Just see the level of disparity we have in Kenya.
Okay.
So the decision of the Lu Council of Elders was informed that William Ruto is the only president who has included the Luo community members even in positions
Mm.
that we thought will never be ours whatsoever as long as our person is not the president. Eh?
Okay.
That is why you see William Ruto is the only person who even appointed Major General Gola to the CDS of Defense Forces, a position that was as a community we believe could not be given to us as long as our person is not the president. You see,
Mm.
so apart from those are just to mention a few. William Ruto has included people from this community in several other places and remember we did not vote for him. Eh?
Okay.
The way Gashago usually put it that we don't have shares in terms of voting. You can say or in terms of voting or in terms of the language of Gashagwa, we
Mm.
actually don't have shares in this government of the community. But he has really accommodated us so much. And let me tell you something by the way. Let me tell you something by the way. I have been in politics and I know how power works.
Yeah.
Hmm? Real legitimate power only comes from few areas within the government. Real legitimate power,
Mm.
apart from presidency, real legitimate power is only if you control the military,
Mm.
if you control the finance ministry, if you control the internal ministry, interior, I mean the interior.
Mhm.
Real power only can come if you control the budget committee within the parliament.
Mm.
You see those
Okay.
areas.
Okay. Okay.
Forget about these things called the forestry ministry or forestry, the mining.
Okay.
If your people are in charge of budget, and your people are
Mhm.
in charge of finance, and your people are in
Mhm.
charge of the interior,
Mhm.
you are in deep inside that government. And
Okay.
people from our community have held or are currently holding this position courtesy of William Samoei Ruto. That is why we say our interest across the community is currently being served.
Okay,
Yes,
I have few areas to follow up with you, and you will correct me if I'm wrong. One about
yes,
the care of the Luo elders, and as I said earlier, this is usually a cultural, yeah. It is a position that is being held for the community. When we talk about elders, we know these are wise men that will always congregate or have a meeting if something is wrong with the community, but it's not a political. The reason why I'm saying that, remember when Jaramogi was the care, when he was in that position, and when he got interested into politics, he decided to leave that position because he knew the democracy or the democratic space of everyone, because like everyone cannot be in the same area. So how will it be possible, especially now, because we have people who have divergence view, when something strike, how will he be arbitrator, where will talk to the other people and the other side that are not agreeing, and since you've taken side, so you will answer that. You talk about this is the government from 1963 that the Luo nation has been given the position. I don't think it is true. You are very just specific about the ministry. When you look at, we have people like Oloa Ringo during the time of Moi. We have people like Omamo. These are Ndoloaya. These are people who are in government, including the powerful PS. That was Ezekiah Oyugi. All these people were coming from the Luo nation. So maybe I might be wrong when we talk about this. Maybe if you can correct me if I'm wrong about those.
yeah. First of all, let me correct you.
Mm.
It is true we've held the Ministry of Interior,
Yeah.
but remember, there's no time we held the Ministry of Interior. We are in
Mm.
charge of budget and we are in charge of finance at the same time. This is the
Okay.
only time we are in charge of interior You are in charge of budget and you're in charge of finance at the same time. To me,
Mm-hmm.
we are in full control. The people from our community are in full control of the government. That moment when we were in control of interior alone, the 1990s when Zeko Yugi was the interior PS, our
Mm.
person was not in charge of budget. Our
Okay.
person was not in charge of finance.
Mm.
Remember,
Mm.
this this that trio collaboration is only
Mm.
present right now. And let
Okay.
me tell you, if
Okay.
Ogon, yeah, and I was tell you something.
Mm.
The position of Luo Council of Elder is just about to give advice. I was in Homa Bay, by the way, for your information. I was in that podium
Mm.
when Kerudung Gilenda was speaking. Even if you watch my Facebook, you notice that day I posted that I was in with the women rep. We started the meeting at women reps home. He was opening his home. Then we went to Kanyadiang Primary School. So I was there, and I can tell you when Odinga spoke, he
Mm.
spoke from a position of giving an advice to the community.
Mm.
Remember, the Luo Council of Elders is comprising of wise men.
Mm.
So, in other words, they can see what most of our Gen Zs and millennials and other young people cannot see.
Okay.
They've been part of the struggle. And remember, by the way, if you don't know, Odungiranda
Mm.
is I spoke to him. I spoke with him when I was in his home. I did not know that he was among the people who were tortured and arrested and detained during the multi-party democracy. During the multi-party democracy, he even showed me the scars. He has the wounds and the scars. He carries the burden of the struggle. So he knows where we've been from and
Mm.
he knows where we are. And that's
Yeah.
why when he talks, he's simply telling us that as a community, he doesn't want anybody from this community to go and walk the path they walked. The path whereby they were being detained,
Mm.
tortured,
Mm.
killed, and maimed.
Mm.
Especially when we have somebody who can listen to us and
Mm.
accommodate, even if not all, but maybe part of our interest.
Okay, Muesh, you are a leader, and with us here, we just want to relay the information, especially for those who are watching. You've spoken about some of the leaders that have been in these positions. Right now, we are talking of Honorable Mbadi is in finance. We are talking about Honorable Wandai, who is in energy, and some other leaders, the PSS and what. Maybe from the time that they were given the opportunity to serve the community, including Atandi, um, has the economy, especially of the Luo nation, has changed, and is everything has been catered for? Because we still see a number of people struggling to go to school, especially from that region. We are still seeing issues to do with health. If you go to our hospitals, you will still find that the beds are being shared. Maybe if you can account for that, some of the achievements, especially of the area. Secondly, we are also seeing the rise of Gunism in the area where the leaders that are coming in this place, there's nothing that positive. Maybe to me, those are some of the things that I'm seeing. Maybe you can also highlight for us positive issues that things that have come with it, the benefit that have come with the appointment, especially.
Let me tell you one thing. Do you know that in Suba South,
Mm.
do you know that in Suba South, where Mbadi hails from,
Yeah.
before I've worked in that constituency. I campaigned with Mbadi. I remember during the campaigns, Aduinyang, the ODM, our ODM party leader for Kisumu Central constituency, we used to
Mm.
go to Suba South to campaign
Yeah.
for John Mbadi. He's a good friend of John Mbadi, so he used to tag me along.
Mm.
Do you know that up to 2024,
Mm.
there was not even 1 inch, or let me say 1 kilometer of tarmac road
Mm.
in Suba South. Do you know
Why?
that?
Why?
The answer is very simple.
Mm.
There is There was no willingness from the government to build road in that area
No.
because because let me tell you, no, let me explain to this. Because
Mm,
let me tell you, an MP cannot be. Do you know some people used to complain to Mbadi that he has not built road in his constituency?
mm.
Do you know how much it costs to build 1 kilometer of road? It
How
costs
much?
100 million Kenyan shillings
Mm-hmm.
to build 1 kilometer of road into bitumen standards
Yeah.
in Kenya.
Mm.
And an MP receives about 180 million in a financial year.
Financially,
Eh?
yes.
To
Mm-hmm.
me, even if you were to build a road every financial year, to me you will only be building about 1 kilometer or 1.5 kilometer,
Mm-hmm.
which is unrealistic. And remember, CDF is a structured fund.
Mm-hmm.
To me, there's a percentage you need to allocate to health. There's a percentage you need to allocate to security. There's a percentage you need to educate for education and things like that. So, in other words, no MP can use CDF funds to build the roads to bitumen standard. You see, that's why you can never blame any MP for not building roads in this constituency.
Yeah.
That's why we can't blame Mbadi. You see, building roads is a very complicated thing that most people don't usually understand because building roads mostly fall under Kera, Kura, and Kenha
Mm,
bodies.
mm,
Eh? And those are affiliates of the national government.
mm,
Those are bodies affiliated by the national government.
mm,
Kera, Kura, Kenha.
mm.
The road, that big road that cuts across Suba South, the road from Sindo through Magonga and comes down and connects through Mbeta. Let me tell you,
Mm.
that is a national highway that can only be built by KENHA,
Yes.
Kenya National Highways Authority.
Mm,
And do you know the politics that it plays for Kenya to to build roads in your area? It calls
mm,
for high level politics that usually plays the politics that plays from the it plays from the parliament itself, the budget committee.
mm,
It plays from the executive, the political willingness. It
mm,
plays to the finance ministry, the ability to allocate and sign the funds for that road.
mm.
Eh? You see, that connection, the budget committee, the finance department, the executive.
Okay.
So, in other words,
Mm.
yeah, you can just
So
ask a question.
I understand you, but I also had an opportunity. Like sometimes I had opportunity. There was a time I was doing Homa Bay tour, and I went through even to Magunga, and I saw how roads are there. But sometimes you have to ask. We look at the political history of majority of the leaders on how they've been elected for almost so many years. But you find that there is no tangible, especially development or tangible. Something that you cannot point out on these leaders. Okay, we can agree they were not in government, but now because now they're in government is almost a year and something. We're just speaking about the Luo nation.
Yes,
As you,
I was going to give you a report for now. That's what I was doing. That's what I was telling you.
mm, what, what what what
Currently,
what are the changes that we've seen, especially?
that's what I, that's what I was going to.
Mm,
Currently, if you walk that road from Sindo going to Magunga,
mm,
eh, the
mm,
contractor is on site.
mm,
They've done about 20 something kilometers already fully tarmac to bitumen standards.
mm,
You see,
yeah.
hopefully in the course of next year that road will be completed because what is happening is the reason why that road was never built all those years despite it
Mm,
being identified by the government was
yeah.
no government used to allocate funds for that road. It's about allocation of funds. They
But
used
now,
never to allocate and release funds. Yes.
Moesh, I want us to also, you can also, we always know that when budget is being done, it's being done in the parliament. The parliament are the people approving the funds, the budget. they're the people who are approving it. Yeah. And when
Yes,
this was happening in Parliament, we had, especially, we had quite a number of members of Parliament, especially coming from ODM. You remember that they were the majority, so which means they had
yes.
power in that Parliament. What happened, or what happened?
What usually happens is very simple. What usually happens is very simple. Let's say today you are the MP of Suba South. Eh?
Yeah. Hmm.
Then you push for that road. It's been allocated in the budget and it's been approved
Hmm.
by the budgetary committee.
Hmm.
Now the problem now goes to the finance department.
Mm.
They fail to release money for that road, or they release a small portion of that money. The contractor will come and build dikes. After
Mm.
building dikes, the money is over, the contractor leaves the site. And it happens. It happens on so many roads. Do you know even the one we are having here in Mamboleo, the road we are having here in Mamboleo,
Money.
Chemelil Muroni Kipsites Road. Do
Mm.
you know that that road was the money was allocated in the previous administration, the Uhuru Kenyatta's administration.
Yeah.
Some money were allocated for that road. The contractors went and just did the dikes, then disappeared because they didn't allocate enough funds.
Mm.
That was the problem. The problem now was the finance ministry. It had nothing to do with the parliament. The parliament already approved the budget for that road. They already approved. Now
Mm.
the release of the money was now the problem. That's why I was telling you there is always a serious interplay between the budget committee in the parliament and the finance. If those two don't sync,
Mm.
still no proper. And that is why, in his wisdom, and that is why I really like what the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga did. May his role rest in peace. When they give Mbadi the finance ministry, they give him also a Tandi to be the budget chair, so that at no point they should come back to us as a community and complain to us that that the government is doing nothing. It is now upon them to make sure that our projects are approved within the parliament and the finances are released. And so far, what I can tell you by this, they are doing a good thing. 2 weeks
Mm.
ago, I
Mhm.
was in Migori. We were in Masara's constituency. How would we call that constituency? Masara's constituency. There is a road.
Suna West.
The actual,
Is it Suna West?
pardon, how is it called? The Masara's constituency.
Is Suna West?
So there's a road there. Actually, we launched two roads in
Mm.
Suna West. Even if you check John Mbadi's timeline, you can see he even posted in his timeline. I was physically present in person. He launched two roads. One of the roads was called Raila Odinga Road. The road that passes in John Masara's village, then come and connects to Migori near the bridge. Hmm? Near the bridge.
Talking
They named
talking
it
of
Raila
which,
Odinga Road. Currently,
talk,
currently
talk,
that road, yes.
mhm. Talking of which, I don't know when that road was being launched. You saw what happened to the bridge that was swept by the rains. What is the state of that bridge? Because some people are still telling me that nothing has not been done yet. There was a road that was being launched, and remember that that bridge connects Migori to Tanzania.
Yes, it connects that. Yeah, yeah. So currently, after going to Migori after a long time, I did not research so much about the status in terms of rebuilding it. But what I can say, that bridge currently is not usable by the motorists.
Okay.
Currently, it is only used by the border border guys and the people on foot. But I had John Mbadi in his speech during the rally we had in Migori.
Mm.
He said that that bridge is going to be sorted in the next few months.
Okay. All right.
So I don't know how much or the what money will be getting, but he said that is in his priority as the finance ministry, in his
Okay.
priority. So what I was trying to say is that currently things have changed. Let me tell you. You see, the problem we had with the previous government is that
Mm.
our projects used to be approved and money allocated, but the finances were never released. Eh?
Okay.
Several projects were stalled, like where I come from, the Kurusoin Dam.
Mm-hmm.
It was approved by the parliament, the money was never released. Eh? They just released some few coins to build the house for the contractors, and they left. You see, that was the biggest project we are having. Currently,
Mm.
you see, one of the problems we had in this country is that we had very many big projects,
Mm.
but we did not have, it's like the government did not have enough money to work on this project. That's why I'm telling you, John Badi, the CS Finance, told us that things are currently being done, and he's sure that within the next few weeks, not this few months or few years,
Mm-hmm.
all those stall governments are going to be completed. And I walked around, I've seen. Today I was in Mamboleo. I went
Oh.
there, I passed there, and I found the contractor on site doing wonderful things. The road is being done, the contractor is on site. You see? Hmm?
Mm.
Yeah, so I believe that things are going to turn out positive now that we have our people in the government. That's why the the Luo Council of Elder Chairman, the care, say that instead of going back to the street to find a way to with the government, why don't we just stay in the government and fight within the government?
Adede. We
Yes,
okay. I don't know, but like I want to engage in some other areas. When you say that instead of going back to the street, and that you're
yes,
talking about going back to the street, it means protesting, you know. So
yes.
you want to convince me that when people are going on the street during those days, there was no probable cause for them to go on the street. Their main aim was to fight the government, or there was something that they were fighting for.
Okay. One, the main reason why we are going to the street is number
Mm.
one, we usually believe that our person was rigged out of the government. So we were trying to agitate for electoral reforms and ways to ensure that there's always free and
So
fair
you,
election such that whoever wins, like our person, if our person wins, he's in government. So that's why
so
we are so much in the street.
it was not a belief, but was it true or it was just a belief?
No, 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 no. It was a belief and it was true. It was both
Yes.
aspects.
So
We
in,
be
in
Yes,
that case, the reason why there was a probable cause, especially for you to go on the street,
exactly,
yeah.
exactly,
So you should not say we used to go. There was a reason why you were going on the street.
exactly. There was a reason why we used to go to the street.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that is
Yes.
something we have to agree. So which means now you should now kind of like withdraw your statement because if you say we are not going back to the street, it means that when you are going back to the street, there was no probable cause. We were just going to fight the government of the day,
No, no, no,
according to
no.
how you
What I
say.
meant was there was a probable cause why we used to go to the street. But right
Yes.
now,
Yeah.
we've not found any reason why going back to the street because we believe that the things we were agitating for, the development we really needed, the inclusivity we were fighting for, we are
Mm,
now seeing them being realized. You see, that's why currently we don't find any probable cause of us going back to the streets.
mm.
Yes.
Okay. That's okay. Okay, let's leave that, put that one aside. Now, here in ODM, there are quite a number of signals that we are seeing. And yesterday, Ruth Odinga had an interview or a podcast with one of the journalists, and she was asked about several things, among other things, about the support for President William Ruto, where she was undecided. Secondly, she talked about that ODM should fill the presidential candidate, and this one should be decided in the NDC. And that is something that also he
You
spoke
are
about.
talking about Ruth Odinga or Winnie Odinga.
Winnie,
Ruth Odinga or
sorry,
Winnie
sorry,
Odinga.
Winnie Odinga, sorry,
Yes.
Winnie Odinga. Yeah. And about three things. And okay, let me start. She talked about, especially when it comes to performance of the government. She said the government should do better, which means the government is not performing. Secondly, she talked about the support for President William Ruto. She was asked about that. She was still undecided. Then she was asked about if Raila could have gone for presidency, which she said yes, based on the circumstances. She was speaking at the current state of the nation. Then another thing also she spoke about is about the presidency of the party, and he talks about staffing, you know, breakfast and all that. And if you listen to Ruth the other day, Ruth also was saying that the party leader should be the presidential candidate of the party. Today, Oburu Odinga declared at the State House that the presidential candidate for ODM is His Excellency President William Ruto. What is happening with
Mm.
all this inconsistency and messages that keep on coming out? What is happening?
Okay, I've been a member of ODM party for a very long time. Even currently, I'm in the ODM Youth League
Yeah.
of Kisumu County.
Hmm.
And what I can tell you is, a party consists of several people.
Hmm.
Winnie Odinga has no position in ODM.
Okay.
Winnie Odinga has no position in ODM. She was just speaking her mind.
Hmm.
And let me tell you, ODM party, we have hundreds of thousands, if not millions of supporters in Kenya. Not
Hmm.
all of them can speak in one voice. That's why the ultimate decision should come from the party leader, or through the NDC. Eh,
Hmm.
If there is a voice that should be from the people of ODM, then it should be the NDC. Ask the delegates converging the way we converged last time and unanimously agree that as the delegates of ODM, we converge at Jamhuri grounds in Nairobi and unanimously agreed that Oburu should be the party leader. As the party leader, he should be the final voice of the
Hmm.
ODM. To mean that even if I don't agree with
Hmm.
whatever he says,
Hmm.
but for the purpose of democracy and and the manner in which parties are run, we should abide by what he says. So what I'm trying to say is, number one, Winnie Odinga was speaking her mind. She has a right to speak her mind. But her mind does not necessarily reflect the position of the party. Even as within the party, there are people with divergent mind. But at the end of the day, we will follow the direction of the party leader because he is the ultimate voice of the party. The
Okay.
ultimate voice of the party is the party leader. So what I'm trying to say is this: it was within her rights to speak her mind, and even I agree with her on some issues, on some issues like the one you say that currently, even me, I can't say that I agree with the government development record 100%, but I believe it is far much better than the previous government. We
Okay.
are far much better than the previous, and we hope, because remember, we loaned the government our experts. We gave them our experts, the people like Wandai and Oparanya and the Badi. And our experts are barely 2 years in office. And we
Mm.
believe that because they already told us that they inherited a lot of mess within
Mm.
those institutions. So we are only 2 years in government, and we believe that given more time, more are going to be achieved. That is number one. Number two,
Mm.
we already told you that ODM is a party with structure,
Mm.
with the party leader being the we have the party leader and we have the party chairman,
Mm.
we have the party chairperson and we have the secretary general.
Yeah.
And we are the neck and everything. We have the county structure rolling back to the polling station. So what I'm saying is this: Ruth Odinga holds a position within the party, but not that she's not the party leader, she's not the party chairperson, she's not the secretary, she's within the neck.
Mm.
Eh? She has
But
a position within the neck.
but Moesh, let me maybe when we are looking at maybe organization, when we are in organization, then we come and get this conflicting information, and coming from various leaders, it means that people are not speaking in one voice. And look at what Millie Odhiambo said the other day when she was having an interview. And Oburu also spoke about zoning and said that this is our territory, this is our zones. And Millie Odhiambo did not agree with that in the first place about zoning. And the issue of money, the other day we had Junet Mohammed really said when they were in Malava the other day that there was a money that was given to them, especially to facilitate the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua. How does this one sit with the party when the officials are coming up with this kind of a heavy allegation, especially what Junet said, and he said that Arun Cheruyot was the accounting officer. How does this one look, especially when you look at the party, my brother?
Yes, okay. What I said is very simple that uh, we have leadership, clearly defined leadership within the party.
Hmm.
As a party member, like me, I'm within the UDM youth league. Whatever I say in a funeral or in a marketplace does not necessarily reflect the position of the party. Does not necessarily reflect. So that's why I said what Millie Odiambo says is her own views. What the daughter of Raila says is within her own views. But the real position of the party, the real position of the party will be announced in front of an NDC. The NDC, the party leadership will organize an NDC. Then we will have the real position of the party before 2027 in terms of how we are going to partner with UDA in the next election. In terms of whether or not we are going to partner with them, whatever we are saying currently, like whatever the party leader said today, I think I watched the speech and from where I see it, I think he just said it on a lighter note. Mm?
Okay.
Yeah, and
So,
if you can listen, there were a lot of laughter in the room. There are a
mm,
lot of jeering, laughter, and people were happy. You just ask a question that can I not be the DP? Something like that. Of course, they can. So,
yeah,
in other words,
definitely. Mm.
currently we have not signed any pact with UDA. Negotiations are still going on.
But
You
but
see?
but if you're a very keen observer, it would tell you because like right
Yes.
now, if you're very keen observer, you know that some of these things we watch them very keenly. We usually when you look at especially the merchandise of the caps of ODM, you would see a change, and the change that you are seeing a yellow and the orange in between. So it's 50-50. That's something that you've been speaking about
No,
when
no,
you
no,
look.
no, 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 no. That is not the case. That is not the case. What should happen is, I mean, ODM platforms each and every moment.
But
I
but
I was just
But
clarifying
now
about the party
agree with
colors.
me on this. Because I'm very keen. Agree on me with this, especially when you look at the caps
Mm.
even that were kept yesterday. Even when you go to the Hustler Nation, where the headquarters of the Hustler, there's a picture of the president and the late right honorable prime minister. And if you look at it very keenly, there's an orange and fading yellow. Yeah, I don't know whether I'm right.
Yes, yes. Remember, it was the Hustler Center. It was
Yeah.
not at the ODM house. Remember, we have no power to determine how people do things from their side. Even you as Brother Benson, I can make a T-shirt and put your face on my T-shirt. You have no power to decide what I put on my T-shirt. It was at the Hustler Center, and as I can remember very well, there was a time whereby some ODM people in Nairobi made a cap where one side was yellow.
Yeah.
That was not that those were not caps procured by ODM as a party. They
But
were
what does it
caps
speak?
procured. They
What
were
does
caps
it speak?
procured by some individual members who have their own selfish interest. As
But
a party,
Moesh,
our colors still
Moesh,
yes,
if
yes,
a party leader,
yes,
this is not you,
yes.
because if it was you, I could have said, okay, this is a Dede, Honorable Dede, or this is somebody who's just inclined. This is the hierarchy, the highest rank of the party is donning that cap. Hey, what does that one speak? Because that is political. There's an information because it is not intentional. There's something that they
What
are
I'm saying,
telling us.
okay, what I'm saying is very simple.
Yeah,
Uh, Currently,
yeah.
we have negotiations going between ODM and UDA order.
Mm.
In other words, we are courting each other for a potential marriage. You see, we're in the process of courting each other for a potential marriage. If you are keen, even William Ruto has
Yeah.
on several occasions worn a cap whereby it has orange colors. And
Yes.
remember, he's the party leader of UDA. Remember, he's the
So
party
what
leader
does
of
that one
UDA.
say?
What that one simply means is that we are courting each other for a potential marriage. You see when you are
Mshakubaliana,
courting a girl,
mshakubaliana,
no,
hakuna
no,
kitu hapo,
not
mshakubaliana babe.
not
How can
not
you?
necessarily. No, no, no. Let
Eh?
me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you
Mm,
something, brother Benson.
mm.
A marriage is only official that day you will be at the altar and signing the marriage certificate. That is when the marriage is legally official. The
No.
fact that you've gone to bed together today with your girlfriend doesn't mean that you are married. Hmm? So
Unajua,
we are still in the process.
unajua katika
Hmm?
Kiswahili wanasema ati dalili ya mvua ni mawingu. Na unajua tukiona
Of
kama
course,
mawingu,
of course, yes.
lakini
Of
tushaona dalili mvua itanesha hii.
hatujakataa,
Eh,
but remember brother Benson, I'm telling you this.
eh, eh.
The fact that umekatia msichana na
Mhm,
ukaenda ukalala naye kwako
mm,
doesn't mean that utamuoa,
mm.
but it means ya kwamba mko kwa process ya kutengeneza ndoa.
Okay, sawa sawa, asante. Wacha tuachane na hiyo. Mi nataka jambo la mwisho, kwa sababu naona muda yetu inayoyoma. Linda wananchi wanaenda Homa Bay weekend ijayo, tarehe 16, lakini ukiangalia katika mtandao wa jamii kuna mambo mengi ambayo yanasemekana. Kuna watu wengi wamejitokeza kabisa kabisa, wanasema kwamba kuna wahuni ambao um, watawazuia watu wa Linda Mwananchi. Labda swali ni je, mbona watu kununua wauni ama kuweka wauni au watu walinda nchi wasikuwe na mkutano? Adede amepotea. Uh, Ruto is not ready for marrying anyone from ODM. He will drop the wangas like hot potato. All right, we are still waiting. Actually, there's a, I think like there's going to be very high tension going forward. Next weekend when not Azimio, sorry, when Linda Mwananchi will be going to Homa Bay. I'm seeing some unconfirmed reports, especially from some influencers are talking of some goons are being procured and they're meeting at a certain place to stop Linda Wananchi from going to Homa Bay. I think, to me, uh, this is my thinking. Uh, it, you know, I think the people of Homa Bay, especially the leadership of Homa Bay, is just to allow the Linda Mwananchi come to their rally and leave. I know the when you look at Homa Bay, the Homa Bay has in this government, they have very senior official and very influential. We are looking at Raymond Omolo, we are looking at Gladys Wanga, and when you go back to the history, this is the county that President William Ruto visited during the time when those negotiations, the agreement between the Right Honorable Prime Minister and President William Ruto, the late Prime Minister, when they were still negotiating, President William Ruto actually, after his days in office, the first days in office, he visited Homa Bay like 5 times, and all the development that he has taken to Homa Bay. So this is my thinking, and hii ni wazo langu. Mi naambia mavijana hivi, unajua leo mwanasiasa atakulipa pesa kidogo ili uende uue kijana mwenzako, na kwa sababu tu ya siasa. Mimi nakumbuka kwamba wakati ambapo Rais William Ruto alikuwa anashindana na aliyekuwa hayati mzee Raila Odinga, kulikuwa na mambo ambayo ilikuwa inaitwa dynasty na hustler. Ulikuwa unapata kwamba watu wa dynasty ama sana sana watu wa hustler na dynasty hawakukuwa wanapatana, hata wafuasi wao hawakukuwa wanapatana, lakini vitu zikakuja zikabadilika, ukapata kwamba madynasty na mahasla wale maviongozi wao walikuja wakapatana, hata saizi wako katika serikali ya maungano, na watu ambao walipoteza ni wale wafuasi. Sasa ni jukumu lako kama kijana, kuna vifo ambazo zinaweza ziuliwa yeah? Kupoteza maisha bila sababu, kwa sababu Orengo ameenda Homa Bay mara mbili kama sijakosea, na katika kuenda Homa Bay kuna watu ambao walipoteza maisha yao kwa sababu labda watu wakukuwa wanataka Orenga ingie pale, watu uuni ikaingia, mtu akapoteza maisha yake. Mi nadhani kwamba wale maviongozi, kama ni kweli, kulingana na mambo ambayo tunapata katika mtandao na mambo ambayo inasemekana katika mtandao, kama ni kweli kuna ile mpango ya maviongozi fulani wameweka mkutano kuleta vijana wauni wazulie hao watu wa linda wananchi wasifanye rali yao, si vyema. Wawache wakuje wauze sera yao, waende eh? Na pia haitatoa picha nzuri sana sana kwa eneo hili, kwa sababu ukiangalia historia ya eneo hili sana sana mambo ya ghasia inajulikana vizuri. Angalia history, ukienda Kasipul Kabondo, ukiona hizo story ambazo zilikuwa zinatokea Kasipul Kabondo kitambo, ambao watu walikuwa wanakatwa na panga, watu walikuwa wanapoteza maisha yao. Nakumbuka wakati ambapo ilikuwa na mchujo wa uchaguzi mdogo, kuna yule gari zake zilipigwa na vitu kama hizo, unaona. Hata siku ile Kaluma alienda pale kuangalia wakati ambao walikuwa wanapiga kura, Kaluma kapata zake. Sasa ni kaunti ambayo iko na historia sana sana kulingana na mambo ya ghasia. Ni kweli. Sasa mavijana, hizi pesa mnapatiwa kidogo kidogo, wacheni hata wale wa linda mwananchi, kwa sababu washapatiana polisi taarifa kwamba watakuja. Yes, they will. So ni vyema, mimi narai tu vijana na pia viongozi ambao kuna mtu hapa anauliza swali nzuri zaidi. Anauliza, why are our Luo brothers being used and they are killing too? Swali nzuri hayo. Unajua, kumbuka hii ni siasa. Na siasa kuna kitu ambacho kinaitwa demokrasia. Na kila mtu ako na nafasi ya kuchagua mrenga ambayo yeye anapenda, kwa sababu ukiangalia lengo kuu ya linda mwananchi na hata mrengo wa serikali ni kwamba wote wanataka wakuwe katika uongozi, watawale. Hakuna jambo lingine hapo. Linda wananchi wanataka wamng'oe Ruto katika mamlaka ili wao pia waendeshe nchi. Ni kawaida, ni demokrasia ambayo watu waliletewa. Lakini ikifika mahali ambao unapata kwamba wauni wanatawala na hata inakuwa ni vibaya. Hata juzi ukiona Homa Bay tu hapo tu, wakati ODM walikuwa huyu women rep for Homa Bay walikuwa na ile mkutano wake, kulikuwa na mambo hapo, mavijana ambao walikuwa wananyang'anya watu simu, watu wanapigana hao wenyewe kwa wenyewe. Na hao watu sidhani kama wanakuja kivyao. Kuna kiongozi fulani ambao anawapatia fedha ili waende walete vurugu pali kama hapo. It is not good. And for the young people, there's some deaths that can be prevented. Kuna zile maafa ambayo tunaweza zuilia zisifanyike ama zisitokee. Kama unajua haupendezwi na siasa za linda mwananchi, wanakuja Homa Bay, usiende, kaa kwako, endelea na shughuli zako za kawaida. Lakini kama unajua wanakuvutia, basi enda usikie sera zao, baadaye enda nyumbani kwako. Lakini tusiuane. Usiue kijana kwa jamii ambao wewe mwenyewe unatoka. Si vyema. Si vyema. Haitakufaidi lolote. Wanasiasa wao, unaona wanasiasa unaona saizi unapata kwamba wanavurugana hapa. Watu ni marafiki, watu ni wafanya biashara, watu wanaishi maisha mzuri, watu watoto wao hautakuwa unapata wakikuja kwa mambo haya. Watu utapata kwamba watoto wao watakuwa wanapatiwa shilingi 500, 200 ili waende wavuruge mkutano. Ebu jamani, tuerevuke kisiasa. Tutoe hii kasumba hii ya kupatiwa pesa duni na wanasiasa, alafu unaenda kuua mtu ama ndugu yako kwa sababu tu ya siasa. Tafadhali. Kuna wazazi ambao mpaka saizi wamezika watoto wao kwa njia ambao yani huzuni wanayo, kwa sababu unapata kwamba kijana ndiye alikuwa tegemeo na sasa kibahati mbaya tu kijana akuja kawawa, mzazi amebaki hapo. Wanasiasa bado wanaendelea na maisha yao, you know? Na watoto wao bado wanazidi kwenda kwa shule mzuri, watoto wao wanapata kazi nzuri, wanaendesha magari mazuri, na wewe hapo mwenye ulikuwa umeua kijana mwenzio kwa sababu tu umepatiwa 5,000 ama umepatiwa shilingi $50 ama umepatiwa pesa kidogo. Bana, inafaa tuepuke na mambo kama haya. Wacha watu walinda wananchi wakuje Homa Bay wafanye tukio lao. Kama mnajua Homa Bay nyinyi ni watu wa Tutam, achana nao, wacha wakuje wapige kelele pale, watakutana warudi. Unaona, wawachie nyinyi pia muende mahali, ndio watu wakuwe na nchi yenye amani. Kwa hayo machache, wacha nichukue nafasi hii kushukuru Gudia. Asante sana kuwa na sisi, nashukuru sana. Na J Omondi, asante sana, naona pale asante sana, thank you so much. Yeah, that is what they need to understand. Yeah, and remember, before I wind up, Ayaga, thank you so much. Leo Nyabaya, kesho tuko na Crossfire saa 2, kuja mapema tujadili swala mengi hapa. Naona rais amesema anapatiana wazee wa kijiji 3,000 watakuwa wanalipiwa SHA na smartphone iko njiani. Sasa mambo ni shwari pale. Now we have 106 almost village elders that will be getting the 3,000. Their SHA will be paid for them by the government, and also they will be getting smartphone. That is something that President said today when he was having a consultative or doing a consultation forum with them at the State House. Na sijui kama chiefs walipata iPad, because I can't remember there was a time that chiefs were promised to get iPads. I don't know. They were tablet, not iPad to be precise. They were supposed to get tablets. I don't know whether they got that. So that one. There's also something that people are talking about, especially when it comes to justice. For inflammatory remarks that are being made by politicians. We saw Mkwerieni, member of parliament, Kagusha, was arrested, and people were giving examples, especially what Arun Cheruiyot said in Kericho, what CS Duale said, and they're giving quite a number of, they say that, how does it work? So those are some of the questions that everyone is asking. So Ayaga, thank you so much. Nick Odhiambo, thank you so much. And everyone who was watching, this is Kikao na Sauti, together with the brother Benson Media. We really, really appreciate you being with us on this channel. We just lost Mheshimiwa. There are quite a lot that we wanted to learn from him or to know from him, especially as a member of ODM. There's so much that is happening. They're not speaking in one voice. The other day, yeah, Eric Nairobian is in the Facebook. He's watching us from Facebook. That's I'm seeing his comment. Yes, the Nairobian guy is watching us from Facebook. So tomorrow we will be having Leo Nyabaya, and Leo Nyabaya will be here to at least explain to us or share with us about the Tutam, because he's a member of Tutam movement, and we will be having Msimamo, who is also one-term movement. So tutakuwa na debate hapa. So kesho tukuje mapema kuanzia saa 2 tutakuwa na debate hapa, tusikie mtu wa Tutam anasema nini, mtu wa one-term atasema nini, na tusonge mbele. Kwa hayo machache, asanteni sana. Mwenyezi Mungu awabariki na Mwenyezi Mungu awatangulie kwa yale yote nyinyi mnataka kufanya ama yale yote ushafanya. Asante sana.